So, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to my very thoughtful world. So, guys, if you are new to me, my name is Kenesha Berry. I am a relationship mindset life coach. I help my clients create the mindset they need so that they can create the life, love, and relationships that they really want. A lot of times we get stuck in thought patterns. We begin to, hi, sugar mama, how are you? Oftentimes we get stuck in thought patterns. We build our whole life on thoughts and beliefs that we was introduced to, taught about when we were younger, when we was children. And then we continue to live our life as adults, kind of stuck in that way of thinking. You may grow up thinking about marriage and relationships a certain way, particularly based on the marriages and the relationships that you grew up around. So if you saw arguing, fighting, fussing, you may think that's kind of normal. Or perhaps you are the kid who thought, this isn't normal, this isn't what I want, but you haven't learned the skills to not do it. See, until we're intentional about training ourselves to do something differently, we're typically try not to behave the way, like a behavior that we're not fond of. We'll try not to behave that way. But in our trying not to behave that way, we might do things like shut down, refuse to talk because you're thinking, well, I'm not going to argue with you, so I'm just not going to talk. That's called stonewalling. That doesn't help the benefit the relationship either. What is happening is you need new tools and strategies because the ones that you grew up seeing, you realize and recognize very early that they don't work and it's not something you want to emulate, which is great. However, you got to be intentional about learning new strategies as to how to have healthy, loving conversations, particularly the hard conversations. Because a lot of times we will avoid. That is our way of kind of getting past, well, I'm just not going to say nothing. Well, that doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help the relationship. It doesn't move you forward. It doesn't move the love forward. And here's the thing, the moment you ignore something or pretend like it's not a problem, it gets a hold of you. So I always say, you have to learn to let go of the pain, let go of the past, because when you don't let go of it, it does not let go of you. And so many of us are trapped or stuck or feel the same hurt, shame, and pain of something that happened to us in our young life because we haven't learned how to process, to give it a voice. You know, so as a coach, I like to teach my clients how to differentiate when they're operating from their, what I call their higher self, their bigger self, whatever name they want to give it, or from their little girl self. So most of my clients are women. I've had a few guy clients, but we will typically be able to look and see, that time that the belief or the action happened. And so you may still be responding, reacting from what I call that little girl self. And when you can recognize that, you can then choose and decide, am I going to keep letting the 5-year-old inside of me run my life? Am I going to continue to react and respond from the 5-year-old? Or am I going to be the adult, comfort the 5-year-old, let her know she's okay, remind her of all the amazing things that you've accomplished, and let her know we don't need, the adult me don't need the things that the 5-year-old me needed. Like, particularly in parenting. And so in therapy, for those of you who may not know, if you think I'm talking about therapy terms, I also have my master's in pastoral counseling. So, but in counseling, what we learn is about bonds, emotional bonds, and the way we attract to people through our emotional bonding. And that bonding happens, of course, with our parents, whether we like to think about it or not. So we may have created some maybe healthy or unhealthy bonding in relationships, either with the parents in our life or the adults in our life. And that's another thing that oftentimes is replayed over and over in these relationships we get in because we will attract to the bond we know. So whenever you meet a woman who says something like, oh, yeah, he's nice, but he's too nice, I would instantly begin to think they've had some bonding in relationships with people who aren't kind, aren't loving, aren't nice. So they think that relationships full of chaos and drama is more loving than one with a nice guy who wants to be kind and treat her nice and open the door for her and, do all these things that they may consider, oh, he's too nice. So I want you to just be intentional about getting clear about what is it you want, but more importantly, because this is the thing, we will focus so much on what we want. And some of us will create these long lists of what we don't want. But I want to know, do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? Do you know who you are bringing to the relationship? Are you aware of maybe the hurt, pain, shame, rejection, abandonment issues that you're bringing with you into the relationship that is now affecting your present relationship, even though it's something that was created in the past? So if you have a lot of trust issues, well, I just don't trust anyone. It's probably because you've been hurt in the past. You haven't learned to build trust within yourself. Because the moment I hear people say, I don't trust anybody, I know there's a part of you that don't trust you. And it's okay. Like, that's not a judgment. That is nothing to beat yourself up over. It is your duty, your responsibility to just learn how to heal those parts inside of you, those broken parts. And listen, healing isn't always, I don't have it anymore. That's not what I mean when I say healing. Healing is the awareness that when certain things happen, it triggers my little girl self. And now, as an adult woman, I get to choose and decide, am I going to operate from my little girl self, or am I going to operate from my adult woman self and give language to what I'm experiencing? Not shut down, ask for what I want, give a voice to what's going on with me. And from that place, create and build a better relationship from yourself. So I hope this has helped someone today. I hope that if you are the person on the other side of this video and you're thinking, oh, I do have all of these things, that you would choose not to continue to walk in the rest of your life stuck in your little girl self, that you would get the tools and devices you need to begin to build and establish the type of relationships that you want, the love, the support, have the conversations. And when you're uncomfortable, be able to say, I'm uncomfortable. But being able to have the language, it shifts and changes everything. So I pray that you have a blessed day. I ask that you do a few things for me. One, will you share and like my video? Will you if you liked it, if you've been blessed by it, will you let other people know about Very Thoughtful? Two, if you haven't already, will you come and join me for my free vision webinar that is happening? I always forget the date. Go to my website, verythoughtfullife.com. It's a Monday night. I believe that's the 21st of November. We're going to do a free vision webinar just to talk about setting those visions for the next year. Where are you going to go? What do you want to do? What do you want to be? We're going to really talk about that and hash that out. Also, if you haven't already, when you order my book, get it for the little girl that's inside of you or the little girls that you know that just need to be encouraged and inspired and have some beautiful, loving words said to her to just, boost her confidence. And so this says, X is for X factor. You are significant to all that you know. You have an X factor that steals the show. So I just think it's really great to encourage our young girls when they're little and just celebrate them. So thank you so much for watching. Stay connected. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.